One of Lake Murray for the MLF Pro Circuit event. This tournament, going into it, I didn't know what to really expect. I had never been to the lake before, so it was kind of a little bit of a guessing game. I thought there would be a lot of post-spawn fish, herring bite, and that sort of stuff going on. And when I got there, I was surprised to find there's a lot of fish on beds and there's more moving up. So on day one, I focused a lot on those bedding fish. And I had never found any real great big ones on beds, but I knew I had a solid between 12 and probably 14 pounds on beds found that I could go catch. And I did that. I went looking. What I was doing was skipping a Wacky rig around. And what I was using was a Z-Man. It's the ZinkerZ. Green pumpkin was usually my go-to color. I played around with it a little bit. Didn't really seem to matter, just because they were on beds. And with that, I would take this Wacky worm. This is the Wacky hook. It's called the WRM 201FG. So you can see it there. It's got these two fluorocarbon pieces here, and that's great because I was skipping around docks a lot of times, and it just keeps you from getting hung up. So what I would do, what's great about that Z-Man bait is being a last tack, you can just hook it right in the middle. You don't need any O-ring. You don't have to worry about skipping the bait off or anything like that. So when I would find these fish on beds, what I would do is target them directly. Some of them I had marked in practice, so I'd stay back far off, and you could skip that over there. I would just let it fall weightless on them. And when they would do that, a lot of times they would just go over right away, pick it up, and just swim off with it, and you'd hook them, and you had them. Other times when I was fishing for ones that I couldn't see as much on beds that were just spawning either on the dock post or whatever, I would actually take this Z-Man. It's called the Ned or Nico Shrooms. You can see there, it's just a little insert to Nico rig it, adds the weight. So you take your ZinkerZ like this and you push it right in there. You'll see it's got those two barbs, so being a last tech, a lot of other Nico weights would not hold up in there, but you put that in there, and that made it just fall just like that, and you shake it in front of their face, and it just let you cover more docks quickly, because usually when you pitched up to that post, they would hit it right away if they were on there protecting. But that was my main bed fishing technique. My other technique for catching them was taking a Z-Man Streaks, which is a fluke style bait. You can see like that. Pull one out here for you to see. Actually, I pulled one out already. And same thing, I would throw that out there, and I was throwing that on a Rush. It's a 701. It's a medium heavy, so it's a little bit lighter of a tip, so I could give me that jerk in action. I throw a jerk bait on this rod a lot as well. And that bait would just be darting around out there. I was targeting clay points and riprap, where those fish were up pushing the bait. The herring out there, usually most of them were about that big this time of year, and you could get a lot of bites doing that. I would take a Hayabusa hook. I didn't bring one out, but it's a flipping hook, and it was pretty heavy. And I used that so it would actually sink this bait down a little bit, and I would add a stinger treble to it. I could show you guys that in another video sometime, but I would just get on those points, and I was trying to find those herring fish. I never found that day one, so like I said, I stuck with the Wacky worm more of the time. This is a favorite. I was throwing it on my 721 medium heavy. It's a Hex. Awesome rod. You really can't beat that thing. It's a 2500 favorite reel. That there is the jackhammer. 15-pound Seaguar flash line, and it went to a 10-pound Seaguar Tatsu leader. That was my whole setup for targeting those Wacky worm fish. So as I went through day one, it was not as easy to find those fish. Like, I had some that were on bed. Some of them, I guess the first two I caught just blind casting. The third one that you'll see, I really had to take my time to catch this fish. It took me over an hour, and I thought it was going to be a pushing 3. I think after staring at it for so long, I was hoping it was going to be a 3-pounder. And I was fishing for it. I could get it to peck at stuff. I could pick up my drop shot or my Wacky worm. Then I started taking a swim bait, swimming it by, and it started popping my swim bait. Like, it would hit it every time. I hooked it once a little bit, and it came off. And then I left, came back, and I actually took a Z-Man Streaks, put it on a drop shot, and I was able to shake that in the bed. And I came back probably a half hour after messing with it. And I finally caught it on like the second cast. But you'll see when I hold it there, I'm shaking it. It And finally he comes over and picks it up. So I put that fish in the boat. I went and started skipping to my Wacky rig around, caught some other ones, caught my biggest one on a dock I had never fished before, just skipped right underneath it, pulled out a nice, I think it was 299 was what it weighed on my scale. So that was my big one of the day. It cold me up. I went back to one last bed that I had found a fish on earlier, stayed way off, skipped my Wacky worm over there. That zinker fell down. I kind of worked it over to the bed because I was far enough off that I couldn't see it, and caught another one that was like a 2.5. So at the end of the day, I weighed in 12.5. Had me sitting in, I believe, 102nd place. It was not good. Not where I wanted to be, that's for sure. So day 2, much better. You'll get to see some real big fish. You'll see me lose an absolute giant. You can see the highs and lows of that day because it was up and down, that's for sure. So make sure you check that one out. It'll be coming out shortly after this video, later this week. So thanks for watching. If you guys can do me a huge favor, please subscribe. And if you want to see any of the gear used in this, I'll put it in the link below. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, and I'm available to talk with anything you need. Thanks.
152, all right? The 152.